Hey guys, I'd like to show you four different positions and ask you the question, what's white's best move in each of these four positions? And then after we do that, I want to ask you the follow-up question, what do each of these four positions have in common? So here's the first position. Black has just played bishop takes d1, taking our queen. What move should we play here as white? Well, if you had a chance to look at that, the answer is bishop takes f7 check, which is actually checkmate because the knight is controlling both of these squares and black's king is just smothered by their own pieces. Let's jump to position number two. Again, it's white to play. Black has just retreated the king from the knight check, and it is now our move as white. What should we play now? Well, if you had a chance to look at that, the best move is queen to h5, threatening checkmate on h7, and black is actually going to lose the game. There's not really anything they can do. They can try to play rook e8 to create a safe space for the king, but we can still play queen check. And then this is just checkmate because the knight can't block because it's pinned by the bishop. All right, let's go to position number three. Again, black has just played bishop c5. It's now our turn. What's the best move for white? If you had a chance to look at that, this one's a little bit tricky because black's attacking on f2. We actually ignore that and play the move queen to d5, creating this kind of triple attack on these pieces. Now, the primary threat is f7 checkmate. So if black were to ignore us and try to take here, going for our rook, they simply lose the game immediately with queen takes f7 checkmate. And of course, they can take here with check, but it's just a check. We can simply slide our king. F1, king e2 is also playable and good for white. And the problem that black has now is they still have to deal with this double attack. It's a checkmate threat, and it's a threat on the knight, and black just can't really deal with both of those threats at the same time. Knight to g5 almost looks like it works, but we simply take it with our bishop, and then we have the follow-up. Queen takes f7 after that. So completely winning for white as well. And if we jump over to position number four, black has just played bishop to e6. What is white's best move in this position? If you had a chance to look at that, the move is simply just take the bishop because after black recaptures, we have queen to f3 to follow up. It's check, and if the king tries to run, queen to f7 is checkmate. The only other thing that black could do would be knight to f5, but that's completely losing after we take here with the discovered check on the king. For example, if the king tries to run knight to e7 check, forces black to give up the queen, and we are completely winning. What do these four positions have in common? Well, that was kind of a trick question. I didn't really expect that you would know the answer to this, but each of these four positions comes out of a line that I am teaching in my brand new E4 openings course. So I just launched an openings course where I am teaching you 7 different opening systems against the most common responses that black plays to E4. So if you are an E4 player, or if you would like to become an E4 player, this is what you want to learn. So I'm going to be showing you E5, E6, D6, D5, C6, C5, and G6. So these are the top 7 moves that you will see against E4, and I'm going to be giving you a complete system that you can play against each and every one of them. Now, when I created this course, I had 2 goals in mind. Number one, I wanted each of these systems to be something pretty obscure, something that's going to surprise your opponent, and something that you can play very early on in the game. I didn't want it to be, we follow the main line for like 10 moves and then we play something weird. I wanted it to be very early. And the reason for that is your chances of being able to surprise your opponent go up significantly if you play something obscure very early on. If you don't play something until 10 moves down the road, of course, they're probably going to surprise you first with something different. So that was my number one thing, surprise value, obscure, kind of offbeat lines that were still very good. And then number two, I wanted there to be a clear plan of attack in each of these systems. So a way that you can attack the king, a plan to follow, some kind of ideas behind what we're doing to be able to attack the king. So I'm not talking about memorize this line and hope your opponent falls into it and you get checkmate. I'm talking about ideas and concepts that you can apply in that system to go after your opponent's king. Okay, so you're going to be aggressive and you're going to have the surprise value. Those are the 2 things that I wanted to focus on. And I got to say, I think I did a pretty nice job of that. So if we go back to these 4 positions, this first one here came out of the Caro-Kann. The second one here came out of the French defense. The third one came out of just the king's pawn opening, so e5. And then the fourth one came out of the Sicilian. And what you'll notice about each of these 4 positions is that we have a very aggressive position in all of them. The other thing that's really interesting about some of these systems is notice on this position right here, we're missing our rook on A1. And also, if I go back to this number 2 position in the French, we're missing our A1 rook. By the way, I should mention this is only move 11. And over on this board, it's only move 9 when you see these positions. And we've already sacrificed our rook on A1. I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty rare when you have the option to sacrifice a rook that early to get a nice attack on your opponent's king. And that's exactly what you're going to learn in this course. I spent a ton of time coming up with these lines and making sure that you were going to get into an aggressive position. It was going to surprise your opponent. And also, they're just a lot of fun. And so I've got to say, I've really enjoyed playing these, practicing these, even up to the 22, 23, 2400 level. I've had success playing these exact systems. So if you're excited to jump right in and start learning these lines, lucky for you, it's July 4th. So I'm going to be doing a 20% off sale on all my courses, including this one. So there's a link in the description below. But like I said, all courses, 20% off through July 4th. So make sure you take advantage of that. But having said that, I'll see you guys inside the course. Stay sharp, play smart, and take care.